Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bruce Lee. I am flying solo today. My co-host Sid Roeder is not here, but we will soldier on and do our best. We have a special show today. We are going to be talking to some local veterans and honoring them, and also our Veteran Service Officer from Bragg, who is Deb Crowther. We're going to be talking with her in just a minute and learning about what she does and how she helps the veterans community. And we hope that it's helpful for all the veterans out there and everybody else to just feel a little gratitude for everything that these people do for us. But before we get started, I just want to mention our sponsor, which is the Empowering Seniors Group. The Empowering Seniors Group is a group of people that are interested in helping our community to understand what professional services are out there and available, and doing it in a way where we don't solicit people. And they provide us the resources to put the show on and share this information with you every week. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can check us out on empoweringseniors.info on the internet, or you can send us an email if you'd like to tell us what you think about the show or suggest other topics. You can send that to Empowering Seniors CV, and the CV stands for Cache Valley, at gmail.com. So thank you again to our sponsors. Let's get started today. We have three wonderful people here in the studio with us today. We have Deb Crowther. She is the Veteran Service Officer for Bragg. We'll find out what that is in just a second. But hello, Deb.
Hello, and thanks for having us.
Glad to have you. We also have Paul Davis, also an employee of Bragg, and he is a Vietnam vet. Spent a few years over there, then came back and went to school and spent a few years in the Army, right, Paul?
Yeah, I retired from the Army, so I spent 18 more years in the Army.
You couldn't tell he's retired. He's a young-looking guy, right? It's good to have you, Paul. And then Jesse Waite, who is an Iraq vet, also works for Bragg, right, Jesse?
Correct.
Yeah. What do you do at Bragg?
I run the weatherization program.
He runs the weather. We'll talk a little bit about that, too, in just a second. But he was in Iraq, and he was also in the Army, right?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all being here today. Let's start with Deb, actually, because people probably would like to know what a veteran service officer is and does.
Oh, thank you. In 2013, we received a grant from the Department of Rural Health from the VA, and it gave me the opportunity to be trained as a veteran service officer. And what I do is I'm able to help veterans enroll and get VA health care benefits. I also help them if they were injured during their service and get them connected for veterans benefits, and also help them. There's three branches of the VA. I tell people there's the Veterans Benefit Administration, the healthcare system, and the cemetery system. And so I just try and help them connect with those benefits and make sure that they're being taken care of. I was telling Bruce, one of my favorite quotes is from Abraham Lincoln. He said, "To care for him who have been born the battle, and for his widow and his orphan." And that's why that's the mission statement of the Department of Veterans Affairs. And so as a VSO, I'm there to be their advocate and help them access those benefits that have been there for them.
That's great. And how long have you been doing that?
As I said, since 2013. And it's been a privilege and an honor. I have truly gained a greater appreciation for those who have served our country, served in the military, and for their family members. It truly is a sacrifice for all concerned, and I have gained to really appreciate what they've done for their country and for all of us and for our freedom.
That's great. You know, I don't want to move past you, Deb, until we give your phone number out. So if there's a veteran out there or you know of someone who might need some help, Deb would be a person to call for that. And what's the best number to get you at?
Please call me. My phone number is 435-713-1462, and that's directly to my phone on my desk at my office. The other thing that I help them look at is, are there inner benefits that they could get at Bragg, such as help with weatherization, the program Jesse's over, or help with economic development or housing, or I work for the aging department, so do they need help with with in-home services. And we, as you know, Bruce, have a great caregiver support groups and a caregiver coalition. So I try to look at the term as holistically, connecting with them with not only veterans benefits, but the other community benefits to help them be successful in their lives.
Thanks. And have your pencil and paper ready. We'll do that number again, but I want to just say again, it's 435-713-1462, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Paul, you've been with Bragg for a little while too, right?
Yes.
And what do you do over there?
I work with, ever since COVID hit, I've been working with COVID response teams and trying to help with the homeless issues that have been created by it, and try and find resources for different groups that are helping with the COVID response, like Little Lambs Foundation and some of those other groups that have struggled trying to find resources to help the increasing numbers of people in need.
I think this is a good time just to express gratitude to the Bragg Group because they do so much for our community. There's so many different things, and as you can hear as we talk in the different areas of expertise, there's a lot of opportunities out there for help, right? But you are also a veteran.
Yes.
And you served in Vietnam.
Yes.
How long were you there?
I was in Vietnam for 14 and a half months. At the time, if you were a draftee, which I was, you had less than 6 months to do when you got back from Vietnam. You got out. And so I extended in Vietnam for 74 days so I could get out and start college as soon as I got back.
Wow. Okay. Can I ask you what year that was?
1971.
1971 is when you came out.
When I got back from Vietnam, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, let's bounce over to Jesse for a second and just say hello to him. And Jesse, you also work for Bragg, correct?
Yes.
And how long have you been there?
It'll be 13 years in December.
13 years.
Yep.
Okay, great. And your department is weatherization?
Correct.
What exactly do you do?
We do energy efficiency upgrades on low-income homes to help them lower their utility bills and give quality products that they know will continue to run, like their furnaces and AC, things like that.
So how do people find you? How do they know?
Mostly word of mouth. That's our main way we get clients. But other than that, we do a little bit of advertising online or something like that.
So a person, so you're the kind of person you would help would be somebody that lives in the home and their window seals are not very good, or their door seals are not very good, and they're spending a lot of money and trying to keep that up.
Yeah.
And do you guys help with contractors, or is it just getting financing?
We do a lot of the work actually in-house. We have a crew that'll go out there. We're all trained. We do blower door air sealing diagnostics. We have an energy auditor that goes out, measures all the insulation, evaluates the doors, windows, furnaces, safety checks on everything. And then we do outsource to some local contractors, depending on where we are at with production, just to try to keep up.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're coming up on our first break, and we want to learn more about Jesse because he's also a veteran. But before we head out to our first break, let me just say that we are sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group, of which Bragg is a member, and they help support this program. If you're interested in learning more, check out empoweringseniors.info, and we will be back in just a minute.
Oh, it seems like yesterday I was playing with my kids on the playground.
Seems like yesterday I was building a treehouse in the backyard.
Time goes by too fast, but there is something you can do to ensure you're taken care of down the road. I'm Tracy Ferris with Quality First Insurance. A long-term care insurance policy is something we all need as we get older. If you wait until you need it, you're too late. Let me help you understand the options and benefits of long-term care insurance. Call me today, 435-752-0101.
This is Brian Erickson for the Sunshine Minute. Each day, our nurses, CNAs, cooks and servers, housekeepers, laundry staff, music, recreation therapy teams, office staff, receptionists, and many more arrive around the clock. These heroes show up ready and willing to serve and protect our residents and clients. We are so grateful to our dedicated team. On behalf of the Board of Sunshine Terrace Foundation and our community, thank you to all of our employees for keeping us safe. We bring more to life together.
Hi, this is Bruce with Comfort Care. One of the ways we help loved ones stay in their home is by assisting with daily tasks. These may include bathing, meal preparation, medication reminders, and housekeeping. We even help with shopping, transportation, and errands. Most of all, we offer a trusted level of care. Let us help you live your best life possible with Comfort Care. This is Bruce, and you can call me at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram offers free delivery service 5 days a week, Monday through Friday throughout the valley. Just stay home and they will deliver to you. With 25 different suppliers, they won't have the shortage that others might have. Also, with compounding and many other services, they will be able to serve all your needs. In order to stay safe and help slow the spread, please call Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram at 245-DRUG, and they will take care of you.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us today, my name is Bruce Lee. I'm here with some representatives from Bragg. We've got Deb Crowther and Paul Davis and Jesse Waite. They all work there, but Paul and Jesse are also veterans. Before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about the weatherization program with Jesse. And before we move too far past that, I want to just share a phone number. If you're out there and your house is a little drafty and you think you might need some help with that, his group would be somebody that might be able to help you. Jesse, what is the number people should call?
Just call our main line at 435-752-7242. Press the weatherization extension, and that'll get you over to my intake worker who can process an application for you and give you the information you need.
So that's 752-7242.
Yep.
Yeah, great. And press, so there's a menu that comes up, and weatherization is what they want to listen for.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, well, let's just jump into your service over in Iraq. So why did you decide to enlist?
I enlisted when I was 17. My grandpa, he was a Vietnam vet. He's somebody I spent a lot of time with and kind of idolized as a kid, and he had a lot of good traits and qualities about him that I admired, and it kind of inspired me to join the military.
And you were also in the Army?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Paul, how about you? Why did you enlist?
I didn't enlist, remember? I told you I was
right,
drafted. Some of us grew up in a time when
that
I
was the time where everybody was running into Canada.
Well, what happened was is you're in high school, and Vietnam is going on the entire time you're in high school, and both of my older brothers were drafted as soon as they got out of college. So I kind of let myself be drafted after high school because I said, well, I'm not going to work so hard to go to college if I'm just going to get drafted afterwards. So Uncle Sam paid for my college education.
Right. And how many total years were you in?
I spent 20 years in the Army, yeah.
20 years in the Army. And Jesse, how about you?
I spent 8.
8. And when did you come home?
From Iraq?
Yeah.
September of 2007. So I spent 12 months in Iraq.
12 months.
Yeah.
So as you think back on that experience, is there anything in particular that stands out as something you could share that might help us understand what that was like?
Well, we our primary mission while we were there was route clearance. So we cleared IED bombs off the sides of the roads and things like that for falling forces. We were attached to a Marine division. So there's a lot of action.
What was your particular role?
I was a lead truck. We kind of rotated out. We switched between gunner or driver TC. So we were, the first eyes to come up on a depression or something or an IED. So
I was just going to ask, what would you see that would alert you to that there might be an IED?
There's really inconsistencies in the roads. You kind of just, after you stare at them for so long, you see a little different pattern somewhere. Very small wires, things like that. Something that just seems a little unnatural.
Did you find quite a few? Was it unusual to find them, or was it everywhere?
We found, I think it was like 286 while we were there. And a few of them found our vehicle as well.
Wow, yeah. Was it one of those vehicles with the chains on it that kind of...
No, it was basically a armored Jeep.
Jeep.
A little bigger than a Hummer. It's an RG31.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Paul, tell me a story about Vietnam that comes to mind.
I was in the field artillery, so people think of terms of field artillery being back, but Vietnam, everywhere was a combat zone. So I guess you think about the tightness of the group that I was in a gun section, and you try and you take care of each other. It's really about the camaraderie you build up and the dependence you have on each other, because your survival relies on the person next to you to be able to make it. So it's important that team is there, and people need to understand how close that is. I mean, some of us have stayed in touch over the years, and that was 50 years ago.
Wow. What about you, Jesse? Tight relationships, same kind of thing over there?
Oh yeah, you're friends with everybody. Yeah.
Pretty much need to rely on them to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So Jesse, when you think about Veterans Day now, it's coming up. What does that do for you? Does that stir emotions for you?
Yeah, it kind of does. I think I lost a few friends that were over there. It's a little difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I bet. Paul, what about you?
Kind of the same thing. It's some of the people that served with me that came back alive have passed away since then from results of wounds that they took or damage that they did to their bodies and other things. But yeah, Veterans Day is been strong in my family. I'm fifth generation U.S. Army, so my great grandfather served in the Civil War. So it's a long tradition of serving, and Veterans Day has always been pretty important in my upbringing. So yeah,
I have family members that were veterans. My grandfather served in North Africa in World War II. I know one of his stories was he had to have some teeth pulled in North Africa, and there was no anesthetic or anesthesia or anything like that. It was that's one of the stories that I know about him. But as you think as veterans, and you're thinking about Veterans Day and just kind of how our citizens view it, what advice do you have for people that were not veterans on how we can best honor those who are? Do you have any idea on that, Paul?
Well, that's kind of a tough question. I think from my perspective, because I retired from the Army, I think that because of the benefits that I've received since I retired as a retired military, and what I see even Jesse be able to get as a veteran, that we're honored every day to having served our country, and our country treats us pretty well because of it. Veterans Day is one of those things that you say, well, I just express appreciation for what they've done for me since.
I know I feel gratitude when I think of the sacrifices that are made by veterans, and I hear all the time people saying, thank you. I wonder if sometimes it is too much and maybe it happens too often. Do you feel that way, or those good heartfelt thank yous helpful?
I think they're helpful. I think for me the key is just seeing people out there still American pride, like true American pride. It just makes you realize what you did is worth it.
Awesome. All right. Hey, we're getting ready for our next break. Again, if you're just joining us, we're here talking with some representatives from Bragg about their experience in serving in the military in honor of Veterans Day that's coming up next week. We're very, very grateful for their service. Our show is the Senior Moment Show. We're sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to comment on our show, please send us an email at empoweringseniorscb@cashvalley.com. We'll be right back.
If you're retired or plan to retire soon, will you outlive your money, or will your money outlive you? If you don't know the answer, I can help. Hi, I'm Patty Bartholomew, a financial consultant with Parsonex Securities. If you have questions about your financial plan or just need a second opinion, call me today at 435-227-5556.
Investments are not FDIC insured, nor are they deposits of or guaranteed by a bank or any other entity, so they may lose value. Investors should carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the funds. This and other important information is contained in each fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, which can be obtained from a financial professional and should be read carefully before investing. Securities offered through Parsonex Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, 8310 South Valley Highway, Suite 110, Inglewood, Colorado, 80112-303-662-8700.
When it comes to successful aging, eating well matters. Staying physically active matters. Getting socially engaged matters. Living alone, aging alone, it's harder to consistently do that. Hi, this is Chris Grohl with Pioneer Valley Lodge, where we make it easier to do those things every day. Our mission at Pioneer Valley Lodge in North Logan is to help seniors live better, age more gracefully, and stay independent for as long as possible. Pioneer Valley Lodge, an independent living community for seniors.
You have a lot of options when it comes to buying or selling a home. Do you list it online, sell it yourself, or do you have a realtor help? It's a major financial and emotional decision. A realtor is the liaison between buyers and sellers and really helps you navigate complex contracts, deadlines, and disclosures.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
I work for you to get the best outcome for your situation. Let me earn your trust with a free consultation and a free market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
Whether you have a small business, large corporation, or sole proprietorship, remember Cook Martin Polson has provided quality accounting services since 1977. At Cook Martin Polson, they believe you've earned it, and they're going to help you keep it. Take a minute right now to call 750-5566. That's 750-5566 to set up your tax appointment and let Cook Martin Polson show you how to keep the money you have earned.
This is Jared Ripplinger with Cook Martin Polson. You've worked hard for your money. Let us help you keep it.
This is Mark Thurston with White Pine Funeral Services. The best time to plan is when you have time to plan. Having a prearranged funeral gives peace of mind for everyone involved. White Pine will customize your final wishes to fit your needs, from a traditional burial to cremation to a custom headstone. White Pine also accepts prearranged plans from other mortuaries, and we will absorb any transfer or revocation fees. No penalty to you. Visit whitepinefunerals.com or come and see us for more information.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bruce Lee. If you're just joining us today, we are here with Deb Crowther, Veteran Service Officer from Bragg, Paul Davis, a Vietnam vet, also working for Bragg, and Jesse Waite. He is an Iraqi vet. Both Paul and Jesse were in the Army, and Jesse also works for Bragg. Paul, I can't remember. Did we say what you do down at Bragg? Yeah, we did. What is it again?
I work with the economic development, but because of COVID, it's been a lot with homelessness and dealing with response to the COVID situation and people that have been marginalized because of it.
Right. Awesome. And Jesse's working on weatherization, helping people's houses to be warm in the wintertime. And Deb does all things veteran as a veteran service officer down there, right? She is for everybody. We were talking a little bit at the break about maybe some of the experience over there. I'm just curious if you're willing to share. Did you have? Were you afraid while you were over there? Did you feel nervous? And what was that like? Jesse, maybe we can start with you.
Sure. Yeah, I think first you're probably a little more afraid, but I think as time goes on, you get used to it, and you kind of get in the zone. It's a daily thing. The only day you have off is when you're repairing a vehicle or doing maintenance on it or whatever. So you stay busy, and you kind of get numb to it.
Did you say you were there for 12 months, right?
Correct.
Was it every day like that? And so the only time, like you said, you got a break was when you were doing some maintenance?
Yep. Yeah, there's like 280 missions within a year, so all the downtime we had is repairs or whatever. So
how many hours a day would you be out doing something like that?
It depends. Depends on the mission, really. Some days we'd go out, we'd only be out 3 hours. Some days it lasted 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Paul? What did it feel like over there for you?
Well, people have asked that, and I guess it's kind of the same thing Jesse said. You kind of define your own terms as what's safe. There was no time when we weren't in danger, because on a fire base or out doing other missions, you were always could be a target. And so you had that in the back of your brain all the time. All the time there's that little piece of adrenaline. I tell people that I got overdosed on adrenaline, so I don't look for excitement anymore because I got enough for a lifetime. So,
and you can't find the same excitement.
I was afraid all the time. You're always concerned.
Wow. Always. So thinking about our young people today, and do you think maybe not just young people, but do you think people have a sense of appreciation now for veteran services? And I guess with young people, do you sense that they appreciate those things? Jesse?
It's hard to say. I know my kids do, but they've kind of lived with it a little bit. So, I don't know. It's hard, especially nowadays in the world, to know what people are thinking anymore. So,
yeah. Paul, what do you think?
Well, I'd have to echo Jesse's comment about. I know my son does because he did 2 tours in Iraq himself. So, but I think some of the things that have detracted from the sense, one is they got rid of the draft or mandatory government service, and so there's no sense of obligation to your country anymore. And so everybody doesn't feel like they have to serve anymore. And so there's no sense that they belong, that they've served, that the country is their obligation. I tell people that part of the obligations of being a citizen is voting. Well, you don't see voter turnout being really strong either, but you get what you vote for.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and so the same thing applies to service. I've told people I believe that everybody ought to serve 2 years to their country in some form, whether it's voluntary service with the the Forest Service or with the military. I just think everybody ought to serve.
Yeah. Well, I hope people are listening, and we just get a reminder of the sacrifices that people make, and those who came home and those who didn't come home and those who came home and struggled. Again, just grateful for that service and for everything people have done. I want to roll back again just for a second to some of the BRAG programs. So Jesse, yours, we haven't actually talked about the weatherization program on this show before, so I want to make sure we hit it pretty well. Income qualified to get help with that?
Yeah, so we prefer that you get qualified through the HEAP program. The HEAP program is funded by LIHEAP, as we are too, so it basically kind of opens up more funding for us and allows us to do a little bit more things on your home that DOE restricts us from.
Awesome. So anybody can call and check to see if they qualify, right?
Yep.
And so that number again was what?
435-752-7242, and press the weatherization extension. That'll get you right over to either my intake worker or myself.
Okay, so if you're not sure, call that 752-7242 number and see if you qualify, and maybe Brad can help if you're worried about getting cold this winter. And Deb, just coming back to you again, Veteran Service Officer really is pretty comprehensive. Give me a quick 4 or 5 things that you do that people should call you for.
I help veterans enroll in the healthcare system so that they can go, and we do have a clinic here now. It's by the Cache Valley Special Hospital. It's called the Cache Valley Veterans Clinic. They can call to make an appointment by calling 801-582-1565 to schedule an appointment if they're already enrolled. I help people also apply for what's called veterans benefits, and especially sometimes when people are looking how to pay for long-term care, we can help them tap into some of those benefits.
Okay, awesome. Hey, we're at the end of the show. We appreciate y'all being here. This has been the Senior Moment Show. We've got a wrap, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.